Up, everybody? It's my first Rumble stream. I am Troy for Marks on Media and the main event Marks. We're just doing Marks on Media today. No main event Marks like wrestling content here, but I do have a full slate of stuff I wanted to talk about today. Because mostly because I am also streaming to YouTube and X as well. So if you're checking me out on there, I appreciate it. You can always watch the VOD later on if you miss anything. I wanted to give everybody kind of a few minutes to filter in here. But yeah, so on Rumble, I don't really post. I got a lot of shorts where I do like news stuff in where I'm like, there's not enough meat on the bone here. I don't care enough to like make a full length video about it, but it is worth talking about. So I'll generally make a short and put my opinions out there and kind of gauge to see where, what the people feel about it. My viewers and the people out there watching on YouTube, and Rumble's getting robbed of some of that content. I don't hear as much on there, so I figured I'd just go live today while I got some time. I'm actually sick today, so I didn't go into my regular 9 to 5, but I figured, hey, I'm feeling decent enough to hop on here and stream for a little bit. I've been meaning to stream on Rumble, never have. So yeah, thank you to anybody out there who's going to tune in today. Uh, I wanted to just dive right into it real quick. I just got back from Kansas not too long ago, seeing family. Uh, got this from out there. Says, oh, there's my cat. One of my 6 cats wanting to say hello. Get out of the camera, kitty. He's very friendly. Noah says hi. But yeah, any sports fans out there, it's a Cleveland Browns backers worldwide koozie got from my dad. But come on, buddy. Every single time, I don't know. Anybody have cats out there or dogs even? I got my dog behind me on the couch. Can't really see her right now. She's napping. But anybody with cats or dogs, every time, if you want to record anything, suddenly they're up in your face. I don't know why that is. I got like 2 or 3 cats that do that every time, especially the boy. Every single time. He's a daddy's boy, but every time I try to record, up in my friggin' face. Anyway, diving into some of the content we got here today, I wanted to talk about some stuff that, like I said, some of these topics are like, I want to talk about it, but there's not enough meat on the bone to like make like a full length video longer than like 2 minutes. So I don't want to waste everybody's time with that. But it's enough to, when you compile it all, make a stream out of it. And we can go back and forth. So if you join and you want to chat about it, you want to leave a comment about it, it's awesome, man. Thank you. I'm sure I have 1 or 2 female viewers out there. Thank you. But anyway, the first one I wanted to go to is from That Park Place. Oh, man. I've talked about this woman a few times. Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercanti challenges YouTubers to fight. Vera Dark accepts. I'm not super familiar with Vera Dark, but we'll kind of get into some of that. Let's see. Kind of getting into the meat of the article here. I'll read a little bit of this and give my opinion along the way. Like, if anybody's been watching my content for a long time, I used to just kind of read through the article, stop every now and then, and just talk about it. So, Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercanti, who is she wants you to know, if it's not obvious, she wants you to know how gay she is. She's super gay. She doesn't like men at all, even platonically. She's a big time feminist. She wants you to know all this. These are very important facts about her that she wants you to know. She hates white people, especially. She's made that very clear, even though she is white herself. But either way, Kotaku, which is a garbage organization, senior editor Alyssa Mercanti made an appearance on YouTube channel Giant Bomb. How fitting. Where she challenged YouTubers to fight. We've resorted to that now. Oh, yeah? You don't like me? You don't like that I'm tracking you down and soliciting garbage information so I can print hit pieces on you. I talked about that. She did that a while ago with Melanie Mack, who was like subtweeting her basically without calling her out because, that's what, you know, big, strong people do. But either way, she was like soliciting information about Melanie Mack and wanting to write hit pieces about her and whatnot. But you don't like that? Fight me. Mercanti shared a clip of her appearance and stated, quote, I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people and maybe say it's not a good thing. Yeah, mean words. We need more talk about mean words. That's what we need as a society. Maybe say don't want you around if you're going to be a C word and hateful and the games industry naturally, not because anyone is making them be diverse, because the world is diverse, you stupid mother effer. God. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me physically, B word, end quote. So obviously, very well spoken, this woman. And got a good head on her shoulders, clearly well adjusted. Her father clearly loved her and hugged her quite a bit. Good grief, man. She talks garbage so much. Like when people don't like something that she supports, she just writes whiny hit pieces. How dare you? How dare these people? We need to force them out of the gaming industry, which I guarantee this woman is not a gamer. If she is, she plays like Animal Crossing. No offense to Animal Crossing, but it's like that's the one game she knows and she plays. And I'm sure she's super happy that Call of Duty Call of Duty has trans bullets now. Yeah. Oh yeah. Kotaku. First article when I search for that, Kotaku has an article. Call of Duty's trans bullet bug is right wing rage bait. God. Yep. Yeah, right wing rage bait. Yeah. They do something stupid, controversial. Anybody who isn't a raging liberal leftist responds, or even saying it's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we shouldn't have that stuff in these games. Yeah, I don't want it. Nobody wants it. There's like 0.3% of people who want it. And yeah, we are, and I've brought this up before, we are taken down for the great crime of noticing. How dare you notice when we do things? Just let us do what we want all the time. Okay. Either way, let's see. Moving on a little bit more with this. Oddly, after issuing the challenge, one of the other individuals in the room then asked if anyone had taken her up on it, the fight challenge. She responded, quote, no, because they're all P words, end quote. My God, if anybody talked to her or her colleagues that way, she would have a royal meltdown and claim harassment and whatever. They just did this with the WNBA, where like now they finally have more than like 10 people in the stands. So everybody's crying because they're paying attention to Caitlin Clark. And I preface this, I don't care one way or another. I don't even watch men's basketball, but either way, somebody asked this girl who like checked her, Kennedy Carter or something, I don't know, Kennedy something, and it's spelled like Chenedy, but she like technical fouled her basically, and somebody like was there when she got off her bus with a camera and was like kind of cordial about it. It was like, hey, have you talked to her? Have you apologized to her? We want to know. Have you talked to her yet? Wasn't yelling. Wasn't even yelling. Didn't follow her. Just held a camera and asked her a question. And they went on this campaign. Her and her teammates went on this campaign online about being harassed and people need to like back off. It's like, oh, I forgot you guys aren't used to paparazzi whatsoever. Look at this gem of a tweet. Well, I can't pull it up, but there, if you go on her Twitter, Alyssa Mercanti's, that is, pronouns pal, her official Twitter is at Melissa_Merc. Yeah, and she's got a picture with, I'm assuming, I don't want a profile, but I'm assuming another lesbian. They're sitting in a pool, and it says, marinating in men's tears. Well-adjusted human being right there, I'll tell you. I'm going to scroll down to some of this stuff. She hates Mark Kern, by the way. I believe he... I'm going to get his resume wrong. I believe he worked on World of Warcraft, and now he works on other games, but he's still in the industry. Take that for what you will. He commentates a lot about it. He worked under Blizzard for a while, I believe. If you happen to hear any snoring, by the way, it's just my giant dog in the background. She snores like an old man. She's 7 months old. Snores like my 80-year-old grandfather. Anyway, she tweeted a picture of herself holding up a T-shirt that says Firefall. I'm guessing that's a game. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't know every new game. I don't have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or S. I'm still on PS4 and Xbox One. I've been choosing vacations over new gaming systems. But anyway, she said, trans lifeline auction of Firefall merch coming soon. And then she retweeted herself and said, reminder, Mark Kern is an old crusty bigot, and I have a ton of super rare merch from the game he drove into the ground that I'll be auctioning off for Trans Lifeline once I'm back and settled after SGF. She just hates everyone. She did not retweet Grums. She took a screenshot of his tweets. It says, another toxic community manager at Dirty Effin' Hippie, formerly of Destiny 2 and current CM community manager for the new at Fallout on Prime, seems to have a very big problem with white people. And then thanks to at G_grosscuck_41 for the captures. Okay. Oh gosh. And then he's like tweeting whatever. But Alyssa Mercanti screenshotted Grums and said, this absolute toenail is trying to sick any of his followers on women/POCs/queer folks with an X in the industry. Every single person in a position of power should be speaking out against this with their entire chest. Ban this man from events. Support your employees, period. He's not attacking every person of color or queer folks with an X. Well, he's not attacking queer folks that spell it normal. He's attacking political ideologues that are pushing agendas. Huge difference. She doesn't get that because she's one and the same. She is her sexual identity and all of her cause du jours. Like, she has no actual personality of her own. She's told what to believe, and she just follows that line. Ah, good Lord. I'm going to spare you some of this and get down to the meat of it. This goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, Vera Dark is who I thought it was. Okay. So I have not watched a lot of her content. I've seen some of her content. From what I've seen, good stuff. She seems to know what the hell she's talking about, so cool. But Old Man Grim, at Old Man Grim, old with an E at the end, tweeted that clip of Alyssa challenging people. Said Alyssa Mercanti equals Frost 2.0. I think Mercanti's even worse, if possible. But anyway, Just a reminder that this smug, narcissistic B word is 100% indicative of the types of freaks, feminists, and weirdos that compromise the entirety of the activists who make up the modern video game industry, and they hate most of us old school gamers 100. Vera Dark retweeted that and said, and did like the waving emoji and said, can hit up the this little B word who's hiding behind a block. So send me a DM, or can't hit up this little B word who's hiding behind a block. So send me a DM and let's talk match detail. Vera Dark most likely has a burner, but she doesn't want to rat herself out. So most semi big creators do. But either way, then she replied to herself and said, let's do one better and lay it out publicly. Winner gets $1,000. Loser has to put up content publicly announcing their loss. An article from you, a video from me, and what? 3 months for a revenue and train? Or excuse me, for a venue and train. Uh, I don't know much about Vera Dark, so I don't know if she has hands like that. I will say this about Alyssa Mercanti. The only good thing I can say about her, she looks like she's in shape and she hits the gym quite often. Uh, and then Mara Jade. I am not familiar with her whatsoever. But she's at OG _ Mara Jade. She said, Alyssa Mercanti, quote, come fight me physically, B word, end quote. And she said, challenge accepted, sweetheart. And she posted a picture of she's got number one or like first place judo trophies. Cool. So it's heating up. She's got 2 people hitting her. She won't fight these people. She's not going to. She's all talk. But anyway, I spent a lot of time on Alyssa Mercanti. Gross. I wanted to move on now. Still that Park Place. This one, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but so Disney World added a new ride. It's Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I liked Princess and the Frog, and I thought that was, I mean, as far as Disney movies go, that was like a few years before all the movies started just, being the same and ideologically driven. I actually thought, like, I'm not one of them where I'm like, oh my God, it has to have representation. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to deny. Like, looking around, I'm like, okay, we have quite a few white princesses. We have an Asian. I mean, she wasn't technically a princess, but Mulan gets thrown in there. We have a Native American princess with Pocahontas. I'm like, and now at this point, I think we have some Hispanic princesses. I don't know. Do we? Maybe not. I might be off on that one. Either way. Oh, and we have a Hawaiian princess or Hawaiian Samoan princess Moana. And not to offend anybody, I really don't. They don't really specify Islander, Pacific Islander. I'll go with that. But we never had a black princess, and I was like, oh, why not? I don't like them remaking former princesses into being, the new black princess. Because again, and I've heard black people complain about this, where they say, I feel like, we're getting white people leftovers. Like, I mean, yeah, kind of. They can't come up with a good idea just for you. And I thought Princess and the Frog was great. It wasn't until recently, because my wife is more plugged into Disney stuff than I am, and she talks with people about this stuff, and come to find out, there's a thing where black people have complained about that because they were like, well, she's a frog throughout most of the movie, so you only get to see her as a black girl for like 5 minutes out of the whole movie. Like, okay, like, I didn't think that was a big deal. I still don't think it's a big deal. I think it's stupid, but either way. They've got the new Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I was like, cool. She's finally got something at Disney World. I mean, the movie's good. Plug it in there. Mulan doesn't have much, but I guess I think she's in Epcot somewhere. But either way, nobody likes it. Kind of sucks. Reading from that park place, the article is titled Disney World adds tons of new Tiana's Bayou Adventure merchandise despite poor reception. And looking at some of it, going to go through some of this here. There's pictures if you want to go check those out on the article. Tiana's Bayou Adventure has been inundated with poor reception by the general public, but that it isn't. Let me try that again, because apparently I can't read the words in front of my face. Tiana's Bayou Adventure has been inundated with poor receptions by the general public, but that isn't stopping the Splash Mountain replacement from receiving an all-out merchandise campaign at Magic Kingdom. Real quick, replacing Splash Mountain, I feel, was a choice, not a good one. Splash Mountain is historic. Like everybody knows, like, there's a handful of rides at Disney World. There's the teacup ride. Well, there's not much to it, but the teacup ride that makes everybody sick. There's Space Mountain. There's Splash Mountain, and they just replace Splash Mountain just completely. Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It's a Small World. But either way. It's a great reminder that a poor showing by an attraction has more impact than just lower wait times. Like with the Galactic Star Cruiser, if Tiana's Bayou Adventure fails to generate huge support, it's going to be a very lonely time in the co-op. According to the Disney Parks blog, there's a huge list of items specific to this store. I don't see anything wrong with this merchandise. Tiana gets put out there more. I feel like it's been slow going. She's been part of the Disney lexicon for a long time now. I don't even remember when that movie came out. It's been over 10 years. So, I mean, come on, man. But they've got ears, like the Disney or the Mickey ears for it. They've got shirts, jackets. I see quite a few shirts. And they've actually got some non-African American individuals wearing them, which cool. They got the Firefly dude that's voiced by Winnie the Pooh on everything. That's cool. They've got plushies of the horn playing gator. Cool. They got a backpack, little statues where the prince is actually a human. So that's and not a frog. So that's cool. They've got an actual plushie of Tiana. They've got her restaurant fun can you can buy different. Okay, this one I'm not a big fan of like fruity flavored popcorn, but they have Mardi Gras Melody popcorn, and it's like multicolored. It looks, it's gold, purple, green, colors of Mardi Gras. Yuck. I don't like that. Trying to look at because they list it somewhere. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Mardi Gras popcorn, the Bananas Foster milk chocolate bar sounds awesome, actually. And green apple lollipop and more. That also sounds. I love green apple. So, Cajun Craze Crunch. It looks like trail mix, but like spicy. They even sell like Cajun spices. Dookie Chases? Was that the name? I'm sorry. Is that the name? I don't remember the names. Yeah, Walt Disney World will be the first place outside of Dookie Chase's restaurant. Okay, no, it's a real place to sell spices from Leah's family business. All right. Speaking of spice, you can read how to bring the blah 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 blah. Don't care. Sell mugs. They got like a whole shop. Hot sauce. Pillows. Wow. Okay. Look. Not gonna lie. Kind of fire. All right. I know I'm supposed to come on here and crap on everything, and the article itself is kind of crapping on it. Look, nobody likes this ride. They're still selling garbage, or merchandise, whatever. I don't know. I like it. My wife is a big fan of that movie, so if we end up going to Disney sometime soon, might have to buy some. Just saying. Anyway, that's all I got for that one. Moving on. Let's see. Let me try something here. See if this works. Bear with me. Just a moment. Yay. All right, cool. First time using Rumble Rumble Studio, so I want to try that out. Marks on TV time. Let's get into it. The show that everybody's talking about and nobody likes, The Acolyte. I'll say I didn't watch it. Probably not going to watch it. I didn't even watch Andor. I watched Kenobi because I like Hayden Christensen. And I watched Ahsoka. I have a full review on this channel about Ahsoka. I didn't think Ahsoka was that bad. Kenobi, I didn't do a review of it. That was painful. Kenobi it had its moments, but all in all, it sucked. And if you hold the Star Wars lore close to you and you care about it, you're just it'll drive you nuts. But yeah, so Ahsoka was good. I'm not gonna watch this garbage. I thought about it. Supposedly on the next episode, I don't see. I care about it so little. I don't even know what day it comes. What day of the week it comes out. I still got to catch up on the latest Doctor Who. I'm not looking forward to that one. It looks awful. But anyway, I supposedly on this next episode they're gonna go over pronouns in space. This one is from yesterday, also from that park place. Confirmed, the Acolyte performs worse than Ahsoka. Global minutes viewed less than Ahsoka's U.S. premiere viewership. I didn't know that Ahsoka's was that damn bad, but apparently it was. A news report confirms that the Acolyte performed worse than Ahsoka on Disney Plus. Deadline's Katie Campione, whatever, reported that according to Lucasfilm data, the Acolyte's 2-episode premiere only attracted 11.1 million views globally after 5 days of streaming. I mean, that's not good. The report confirms that the Acolyte performed worse than the most recent Star Wars live-action series, Dave Filoni's Ahsoka, which I still maintain had its issues. It was a little slow going, but it was not that bad. I liked it. It was okay. And I go over the good and the bad in my review. So if you're thinking about it, just go check out my review after the live stream. I think I'll inform you. But either way, according to a blog post on StarWars.com, Lucasfilm reported that the debut episode of Ahsoka garnered 14 million views, making the series #1 globally on the streaming platform. That's like every new show. Every new show, well, just about, not every single one, but any show with any sort of name or heft behind its name or anything like that is #1 on the platform for at least a day or two. So that's such a BS number. Yeah, plus you can never trust streaming platforms anyway. And this isn't just a hit at Disney, it's all of them. Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Peacock. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I'm sure even Crunchyroll, but I don't know. Either way, in a footnote, Lucasfilm noted that a view is definitely as total stream time divided by runtime available. A view is defined as total stream time divided by runtime available. Okay. Whatever. But the total runtime for the first episode of Ahsoka was 56 minutes and 25 seconds. However, the series released 2 episodes back to back for its premiere. The second episode's runtime totaled 43 minutes 57 seconds. That means combined, the 2-episode runtime was 100 minutes 22 seconds. The Acolyte released 2 episodes. The premiere date last Tuesday on June 4th. The total runtime for both episodes totaled 73 minutes and 55 seconds. That means the total minutes viewed globally for the Acolyte was around 820 million, while Ahsoka was likely around 1.4 billion minutes viewed. Whew. I mean, when you put it like that, it's crazy. That's like the Rings of Power. They would go on about all these people viewing the show, whatever. It's like, when did they tune out? And considering only 30% of your audience that tuned in for the debut episode, the premiere, stuck around for the finale, that's pathetic numbers, man. It's unclear how accurate the Walt Disney Company's reporting actually is. As I mentioned earlier, data tracking company Nielsen, which all these rating companies are just, you got to take them with a grain of salt. But in either way, reported that Ahsoka's 2-episode premiere garnered 829 million minutes viewed in the United States alone. Looking at this list here, that's Ahsoka. Okay, it fell. Oh God, it fell below. Suits was number 1. Okay, followed by Who is Aaron Carter? Who is Aaron Carter? Not the Aaron Carter that passed away, sadly, that I grew up with. It's ERIN. It's on Netflix. I don't have Netflix. Bluey. I'm shocked that's not a little higher. Grey's Anatomy, still kicking. And then Ahsoka. They just barely beat out NCIS. Yikes. Wow, Cocomelon's awfully far down that list. Maybe people watch it on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. They're still talking about Ahsoka. Oh, Andor. Andor ratings sucked. I heard it's good, but the ratings just sucked. Trying to get to where they're actually talking about. Let's see. Looking at the comparisons, the Acolyte performed far worse than Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as The Mandalorian Season 2. Obi-Wan Kenobi premiered with 2 episodes on May 2022 and racked up 958 million minutes viewed in the United States alone, according to Nielsen. Yeah, name value, man. Mandalorian had pretty good numbers. It's abundantly clear that the show is a failure. It's also another piece of evidence that under the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger, Star Wars is bleeding viewers and fans at an extremely rapid rate. You don't say. They hire unqualified political ideologues. This latest one is just Dave Filoni. At least worked under George Lucas. George liked him. George wanted him to kind of take over the mantle when he stepped down. Leslie freaking Headland, what the hell? The comparisons she was making to the show, like, oh, it's going to be like Kill Bill meets Frozen. Like, what? How about Star Wars? I don't want Kill Bill. I don't want Frozen. I want Star Wars. She's talking about, she's laughing. Oh, ha, ha, ha. It's the gayest Star Wars ever. Oh, yeah. And I'm kind of into it. Like, whatever, man. Got to get that hot girl on girl action, pronouns in space. That's what Star Wars needed, man. More of that. It's not only a girl brand now. That's, whatever. Girls liked Star Wars back before they tried to basically make it into a girl brand because that for some reason needed to happen. Disney only knows how to make girl brands. They made Marvel cool and for everybody for 10 years, a little over a decade, and then just tanked it. Oh, it's a girl brand now. Everybody has to, all the old guys have to retire and give it up to a younger girl. Pass it off to a girl. Actually, all this happened because of a girl. I've never had a problem with female main characters in anything until recently, where they make it extremely obvious that you're not allowed to have male protagonists, at least not cool ones. Men that don't just cry about their feelings. God, this is just it's insufferable. And now this. Let's have another female-led Star Wars show. Another one. We've got plenty, but let's have more. They even forced the Mandalorian down the ladder of importance in his own damn show because we got to have Bo-Katan. No, look, I like Bo-Katan. I don't want to watch if the show was called Bo-Katan, I was like, okay, whatever, but it's not. It's just another way to subvert expectations and pull you in with the Mandalorian. And by the way, he's not the main character anymore. She is. But yeah, and then we've got Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, who clearly knows nothing about Star Wars, in here taking over. And now, moving on from the Acolyte, she's talking about she wants to do. We're going into bounding into comics now. The Acolyte creator Leslie Headland wants to do a live-action Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic project centered on Kreia. She said, quote, start writing emails, start crowdfunding, end quote. How about no? How about no? You ruined one Star Wars property. Well, I mean, look, the blame can't all be laid at her feet because it's Kathleen Kennedy making these calls, who clearly doesn't know dip about anything. She's taken every property that Lucasfilm has. First, it was Star Wars. And these idiots that still support her and Disney they think it's some kind of own. They're like, oh, well, the sequel trilogy made money. Who cares? And guess what? Everything except Mandalorian bombed after that. Everything. And who's going to fondly remember, because how long has it been since the original trilogy came out? 3, 4, it's been about 4 decades, I'd say. Maybe 5. I know my dad went to see Return of the Jedi in when he was stationed in Okinawa in the military. And that was back in like the mid 80s, early to mid 80s. So yeah, it's been a long ass time. At least 3 decades since that wrapped up. That's still remembered fondly today. Everybody watches it. Everybody loves it. Then you've got even the prequel trilogy, which gets crapped on a lot. I hated Phantom Menace. I tried rewatching it recently, and it was painful to get through. I like a couple characters like Qui-Gon Jinn, but man, that movie was just poorly written and just awful. But the Attack of the Clones, I actually think was a good movie. A lot of people fight me on that, but whatever. And then Revenge of the Sith, I thought was great. Great movie. Was it perfect? Nah. But it was fun. Still fondly remembered. I rewatched it on May the 4th and had fun with it. It was good. I tried in the past year rewatching the sequel trilogy, and I couldn't get through it. It is just so bad. Even when I was watching it originally, like the Force Awakens was tolerable. You can get through it. The next two, garbage. Just throw it in the bin, man. Set it on fire. Kill it with fire. But she does that with Star Wars. She's still doing it with Star Wars. And then she does it with Indiana Jones. I guess that was the most recent one. And they dig up freaking Willow, man. Subvert everybody's expectations with that again. Oh, we got to make the non-white lesbianims the main characters in a show called Willow about Willow. And it was apparently just so damn bad they just wiped it off the face of the earth. You can't even get it on Disney Plus now. Within like wasn't it? You can correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it less than a freaking year? Just bam, gone. Even Warwick Davis was like, "The hell, man." But yeah, that's how she's driving all of the properties into the ground. Kathleen Kennedy, that is. And whatever. Keep going, man. Keep bleeding money because Bob Iger is clearly a moron. Looking at this article, just I'll glance over it just a little bit because we're spending a long time on this, but improving that she is apparently a one-note pony when it comes to storytelling. Following her creation of The Acolyte, showrunner Leslie Headland has voiced her interest in doing another Star Wars adaptation based on a female villain with a gray conception of the Force, this time in the form of a live-action Knights of the Old Republic project focusing on villain Kreia, otherwise known as Dark Treya. I will say I didn't play Knights of the Old Republic, so I don't know these characters very well. But the former assistant to Harvey Weinstein professed her desire to take on the fan favorite video game series, or more specifically, its second entry, given her exact mention of Kreia during a recent interview given to Brazilian entertainment news outlet Omelette, I guess, whatever. But yeah, anyway, she goes on to talk about how she wants to do that, and then pressed further if said adaptation would possibly feature an appearance by the KOTOR game's iconic Darth Revan. Headland conclusively declared, quote, well, start writing some emails, start crowdfunding, end quote. Crowdfunding what? It's Disney. What are you crowdfunding? That part I don't get. I'm like, what are you talking about? One last thing I wanted to touch on is also for about this was from Bounding into Comics. After Disney decanonized material, the Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland says upcoming Star Wars series will use EU lore, so extended universe lore. Quote, I thought it was so cool and no one told me I couldn't, end quote. Yeah, so excuse me. Trying to find exactly what the hell she did here. Will soon be canonized some pieces of the EU lore. Headland, who many may remember for her time serving as Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. I love how they throw that in there. From 2003 to 2007. Oh, I was told it was only one short year and she didn't work directly with him. Oh, she couldn't have known or done anything. She's a good little girl. How dare you? She's just a poor little lesbianim. Don't crap on her. Providing insight to her upcoming High Republic era series. Speaking of StarWars.com, blah, 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 blah. She said, there were certain things that I really wanted to do, like use pronouns in Star Wars. Quote, you'll see a half Thelan, half human Jedi, Jekki, played by Daphne Keene, which was always a dream of mine, said the showrunner. There's also some EU lore that I decided to put in because I thought it was so cool and no one told me I couldn't. There are a couple of really big EU ideas that are utilized both early on in the series and later in the series, end quote. Okay. Yeah, because if anybody's going to break out the extended universe lore and do justice by it, it's Leslie Headland. God. If she wants to direct a Disney princess movie, whatever. Why is she doing Star Wars? I don't get it. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. This next one, I don't have much to. I think I said I didn't have much to say about that last one, and then I went on for 20 minutes. But either way, this one, also from Browning and Comics. This one I just think is stupid. The Boys showrunner Eric Kripke shrugs off criticism that series is woke, tells unhappy fans, quote, go watch something else, but I'm certainly not going to pull any punches or apologize, end quote. So this one I'm just going to summarize up pretty quickly. People are complaining and asking Eric Kripke, who runs the show, and he did Supernatural, which is one of my favorite shows of all time up until the final couple seasons where it really fell off a cliff. Really, really bad. But anyway, they're like, oh, why your show's woke? It's going woke. Why is it woke? Dude, have you not been watching The Boys? Have you just tuned in? It's been woke from the beginning, man. The messaging, the imagery, it's all been woke. Or, very leftist, very woke, anti-Christianity, anti-conservative, anti-American. It's just all of that. Anti-traditionalism, anti-human in a lot of cases. So yeah, man, it's been that way from the beginning. I think if anybody watches my content, I hate that kind of stuff, but they didn't false advertise. They didn't subvert expectations. They told you what you were going to get from the beginning. I tuned in anyway, and the show is entertaining. Does it make me cringe sometimes or roll my eyes? Sure. Uh, they have a character. I'm also streaming on YouTube, so I'm gonna try to censor myself a little bit. They had a character in season Dose that is, I think it's season. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's season 2. She is we'll say a bad guy from WW2. She's like a mortal or whatever, and her husband was one of them, a Kraut, you know, and not the good kind, the ones that wear the brown shirts and Goose Step. But anyway, she carried that on, super racist and hateful, but she's super powered, so she's like a super powered hi kitty. Noah, personal space, dude. But anyway, so that's her character. I forget Storm something, but Stormfront, I think. Wait, and then white people, she had some white people coming out to bat for her. It's like, yeah, we don't care, we like it. Good for her. She's talking bad about non-white people. I'm like, yeah, because that's something that would publicly be a big thing in America. Whatever. I just tell myself it's like this is a fictionalized world. Whatever. Homelander gets to be awful, and people support him, and they act like this. They act like he's right wing or something because he wears an American flag. Like, okay, cool, dude. But whatever. Like I said, the show is entertaining. It's funny. It's fine. It hasn't changed. So anybody complaining now that the show is woke clearly hasn't. They're about to show season 4. Excuse me. Episode 1 of season 4 drops on Friday. Anybody complaining that it's woke now, and you've been watching, what? What have you been watching, man? What have you not been paying attention? Dumb. I kind of agree with Kripke on that one, where he said he's not changing it. He said, "Go watch something else." Yeah, I mean, maybe the show's not for you, man. I always hate that where it's like, well, if you don't like it, go watch something else. Screw off, like they did with Doctor Who. But the problem is, they changed Doctor Who. Doctor Who didn't come out, the way it is now, and then they were like, oh, you know, it's always been this way. They try to gaslight you. Oh, it's always been woke since since its inception. It's been woke. No, it's always been pretty progressive. But give me a break, man. Ugh, man. Last thing TV related, I'll run through real quick. I don't have a lot. There's not a lot of meat on this one. It's just funny and stupid. Alec Baldwin and wife Hilaria announced Baldwin's reality show ahead of involuntary. I'll clean it up for the YouTube overlords. I did this in a short man's laughter trial. Combine man's and laughter, and you'll get it. It's one word, but yeah, there's a new reality show called The Baldwins coming out with Alec and Hilaria, aka Hillary. She's a You want to talk about cultural appropriation. She didn't start speaking with that accent till late into her life, and she changed her name from Hillary to Hilaria to sound more ethnic, I guess. She's just a white lady. But he tweeted, "Home is the place we love the most. We are the Baldwins, and we are going to TLC. God help you all." I agree with that last part, that last sentiment. God help us all. But dude, TLC is disgusting. If you're on TLC, you're a freak. You and your whole family are freaks. If you have a reality show on TLC, don't act like this is normal and this is a big get for you. Like Honey Boo Boo Child and her degenerate family were on TLC for years. I think they still are. Mama June. And then was the Duggar family. I think they were on there. The 1,000-pound sisters are on there. Like, yeah, you're on there because you're a freak that we can point and laugh at, dude. But the problem is, some people might actually tune in for this garbage. Yuck. Brett Dasovic from Pop Culture Crisis tweeted, said, Alec is going to shoot his shot at reality TV. God, I apologize. My face is itching. I got sinus issues today. I love Brett Dasovic. Listen to Pop Culture Crisis quite often. Jen from AZTV said, end a woman, get your own reality show. Gross. Somebody else said, when do they start shooting? I'm trying to find, let's see, anybody I know. I know Piers Morgan is in here. I'm looking for him. Waldo. Who's been hired as the weapon specialist on set? Hopefully nobody. Hopefully they don't. Alec is the weapon. There we go. Piers Morgan. My God, the repulsive shamelessness of doing this when you're facing a criminal trial for, we'll say, pew-pewing a woman, to end her life. And when you constantly attack the media for invading your privacy. And he did the eye-rolling emoji. Yeah, not a good look. Look, TLC, they'll sign anybody. If you don't know all the crap that went on with the Duggars, it took them a while to cancel them. And then Mama June is still on there after all the stuff that's been revealed about her and her family. TLC don't care, man. They will hire the freakiest of freaks. It is disgusting. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, like, don't act like this is anything new. I am going to add a little video in here really quickly because I need to run to the turlet. I don't have much more to go over here. There are a few things video game wise that I just want to dive into and take a look at. A few movie things, but real quick, I'm going to try to make it a quick turlet break. In the meantime, see. All right, there we go. All right, check this out. Or, here we go. Maybe. Not let me save it. Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe it has to play all the way through. Oh, here we go. Get it. All right. So, take 2. Check this out. I'll be back in a jiffy.
I would say arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a
Oh, gay, so gay.
Leslie, how do you feel?
Am I gay? Yes.
Well, no.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Is it going to be a talking point?
Nope.
Yet people have told me that it's the gayest Star Wars, and I'm frankly into it. No.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Balls.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I would say arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a
Oh, gay, so gay.
Leslie,
I'm back. Sorry you had to sit through that 1.5 times. Yeah, it was a little something I threw together last night. But anyway. All right, well, we're done with the TV portion. I want to talk a little bit about movies. Check this out while I pull these articles up. All righty, bounding into comics. I wanted to dive into this. So if anybody's seen The Exorcist Believer, apparently you're one of the only ones. I'm not kidding, but anybody I've seen who watched it, who even people who would be inclined to like it, just hated it. It didn't do well. Apparently it bombed. Looking up Rotten Tomatoes right now. My God. It's a 22% tomato meter, 59% audience score. This is the one completely missed the point. Of the originals. Here we go. This is a long one. The Exorcist Believer is a shameful excuse of an exorcism sequel, Exorcist sequel. It has nothing to do with the 1973 classic. They threw in some feminist line in there, and and they had some pagan bullcrap. It also shares the name of one of the original characters, comes back only to get seriously injured at the halfway point, the mom of Linda Blair's character. So it was pretty clear why she came back. It was to collect a paycheck, and I don't blame her. I think she gets blinded. This movie is just awful, with it having cheap and lazy scares, dreadful acting, and a clear attempt to cash in on a popular and well-known movie. What else is new? I think you should spend your timing, I think they mean time, watching the original one instead, since that one is actually disturbing and chilling. The only one thing I did like was the fact that they involved multiple religions in the film, but the execution is embarrassingly mishandled. Yeah, from my understanding, somebody else called it pathetic schlock, a weak story. Leslie's acting is far too superior for this awful movie. I feel the filmmakers missed the point. Like most American films, most of the dialogue is pretty much whispering. The Exorcist movie tries too hard to be scary, and this movie was a whole mess. Yeah. But anyway, from my understanding, from what I heard about it, because like I said, I didn't waste my time watching this garbage. I seriously considered it until I was like, well, I want to hear reviews, and then I'll go check it out. And everybody hated it. But apparently, the person that they had to come in and finally help them exorcise the demons was a woman she was a nun and got kicked out for having for ending her pregnancy, I'll say, which you're not allowed to do as a nun or a Catholic or any kind of Christian. Actually, I'm Protestant. I'm not Catholic, but I know a little bit about Catholicism. But yeah, so she got kicked out, and she comes back, and she's able to get this demon out. And then, it's from what I understood from reviews I heard, she basically gives some speech at the end about like all religions being valid or some crap like that. It, like, completely misses the point of everything in the movie, the original anyway, and the book. For people that don't know, it was a book. But here, Mike Flanagan, people remember him. He outkicked his coverage with his wife, right? Mike Flanagan officially on board to direct radical new take on The Exorcist, abandoning plans for trilogy. Yeah. Let's see. Blumhouse, go figure, may have done something right following the chaos and uncertainty that came after the tone-deaf The Exorcist believer failed to capture any of the magic of David Gordon Green's Halloween movies. Let's reboot every horror franchise now. They tried it with Chucky on TV, and I thought it was fine. I just kind of dropped out halfway through season 1. It wasn't any specific reason. Honestly, I just forgot about it, and then I got so far behind. It was kind of like The Walking Dead. I got to catch up with that. But either way, Deadline reports that Dr. Sleep director and creator of Midnight Mass, Mike Flanagan, has signed on to direct the next Exorcist film for Blumhouse in tandem with Morgan Creek. That could be good. Excuse me a moment. Got to stay hydrated. Anyway, I like Mike Flanagan. I loved The Haunting of Hill House. Finally remembered to hit my cough button. I love The Haunting of Hill House. I thought Haunting of what was the sequel? The Haunting of Bly Manor was fine. I didn't hate it. It was interesting. Midnight Mass was okay. When you find out, like, the thing at the end, you're like, oh, cool. And the makeup was really bad. Like, seriously, the makeup was just not, like, because they made people look old, or tried to, and it was bad. But all in all, I mean, I had fun watching it. I didn't regret watching it. And he puts his wife and everything, which, sure, she's not a bad actress, so, might as well. And what was the other one? Oh, I have not watched Fall of the House of Usher yet. I heard it's really good. Haven't seen it. Dr. Sleep is very divisive. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. I really liked it. My wife hated it. My sister was so on it. She read the book, And I see her point that they didn't really go into much detail about why it's called Dr. Sleep. And they do more so in the book. But, whatever. Either way. But the report adds that the new film will not be a sequel to Believer or continued plans for a trilogy. Flanagan will be helming a radical new take, disconnected from both of those things. What does that mean? Yeah. Is he just going to flat out remake The Exorcist? Is he going to do a new one? I hope he does a new one. I hope it's not a remake. I'm trying to put my faith in old Mike, but man, this kind of stuff makes me nervous. And I know this is like blasphemous to say, but like I like The Exorcist. I've seen it multiple times. I wasn't like in love with it. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is the scariest damn thing I've ever seen. Yada yada. It was okay. Like I said, I've seen it multiple times. It's entertaining. It's creepy, but then again, I'm not a huge horror guy, so we'll see. Let's hope Mike Flanagan does something with it. I keep calling him Mike like I know him. Let's hope Mike Flanagan does something right with this, and Blumhouse has a hit on their hands. But man, just rehashing the same old crap over and over is getting old. Moving on to this one. Former The Crow reboot screenwriter trashes film. Quote, "It's horrible. It's unwatchable. Don't waste your money," end quote. Oh, man. It looks weird. I'll say that. The trailer just made me think it was like The Crow mixed with John Wick. I'm like, I don't want The Crow mixed with John Wick. I don't care about that. Plus, he just looks like the Joker from the Squad movie. I'm gonna, censor myself. But yeah, he's all tattooed up. He looks like he has a smell, and just yuck. That's not. I had some idiot was like, well, that's what he looked like in the graphic novel. Like, no, it isn't, dude. He looked like Brandon Lee. That's what he looked like. He actually kind of looked like the one from, was it? He was also John Connor. Edward Norton. No, not Norton. What was it? The Crow 4. Wicked Prayer. That's what it was. Edward Furlong. Man, he got chubby. As a fat myself, well, as a chubby myself, I can call other people chubby. Man, it's weird to see him that way because he was always like stick thin. Wicked Prayer was awful. Every other Crow movie was good. So the first one is good. Second one was garbage. Third one, I think the second one was called City of Angels. Third one was good. I liked it at least. Again, that's a divisive statement. It's called The Crow Salvation. Edward Mabius played the Crow, and Kirsten Dunst is in it. I thought it was decent, especially after the second one was just such booty. And then the fourth one, The Crow Wicked Prayer, with Ed Furlong and Tara Reid, Emmanuel Cricky. Is that how you pronounce her name? I don't know. Dennis Hopper's in it. God bless him. David Boreanaz, Danny Trejo, because of course. Even Tito Ortiz is in this movie, man. It's not good. And who the hell is going to take Ed Furlong seriously as the Crow? But I will say, he kind of looked like the one from the graphic novel. Bill Skarsgård does not. I didn't like, it was originally going to be Jason Momoa. I didn't like that either. He's way too big. But either way, it's a remake of the 1994 film. It's, If anyone is leery about the final production, or the final product, rather, but still curious enough to see it, their worries can't be quelled by the latest remarks by a screenwriter once attached to the project. Entourage writer Cliff Dorfman penned 2 abandoned drafts of the reboot in 2012 and 2014. Yeah, this is what the critical drinker needs to make a production hell video about this movie. But before Rupert Sanders and Bill Skarsgård were attached, production stalled multiple times during the decade, and Dorfman could not keep a credit on the project. However, he hints that he is keeping an eye on it, as he claims to have seen the final product at a screening conducted by the studio producing the film Lionsgate. As such, Dorfman went off in an X post with his reaction and didn't hold back. Okay, here's what he said. Cliff Dorfman. If hypothetically one happened to see a screening of @thecrow_movie, #The Crow, which at Lionsgate is releasing in August. Oh, August, huh? One might say it's horrible, it's unwatchable, don't waste your money, or can't believe it's so much worse, or can't believe it's so much worse than the original. It is, and don't. Okay. Yeah. The one playing Bill Skarsgård's girlfriend, too. What the hell is her name? Wix or Twix or something? I don't know. But she, just like, I've never seen her in anything either. Just this whole couple, this whole movie, man. I will watch it, but I'm not gonna pay a single dime for this, if you know what I mean. My pirate hat is a little out of reach. Otherwise, I would slap that on right now. I will sail ye old 7 seas once that is out of theaters. The turnaround from, because I think, doesn't Lionsgate go on like Prime? I don't have Prime. Don't care enough. But the turnaround time from theater to streaming is so like short now. Oh, okay. Something interesting I found out. I've been like, why can't I see if anybody's watching on X? I hover over, it says live viewer account not available for X. That's crazy. But let's see. Regardless, they have their sights set on creating another franchise they can print money the way that John Wick did. Oh God, I didn't know they made John Wick. It makes sense now. It's all coming together, folks. Their star Skarsgård indicated as much when he lightly spoiled the ending in an Esquire piece. How do you spoil that ending? I don't get it. We know how it ends, unless they changed it. He said, teasing an open finale that leaves room for a sequel, the actor said, quote, I personally preferred something more definitive, quote, end quote. If nobody shows up to see The Crow, that won't matter. And given how lukewarm the summer has been so far, things don't look good. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not looking forward to this. Like, they dashed my hopes and dreams right up against a rock. I was hoping, I was like, man, The Crow would be so cool, updated. Not updated for a modern audience, like I talk about in my videos, but like updated, like graphics and stuff like that. It'd be so cool. And this looks bad, just objectively. I'll still give it a chance. I'll watch it, but I just do not care. So give me a second here to get some things ready. And we will transition into our next part here. Here's how we'll wrap things up today. Sorry, that was a little loud. But either way. So, there's a Wonder Woman video game supposedly coming out. Did you know that? I got some from Bounding Into Comics and That Park Place, touching on different things. So, we'll get into it here. Monolith Productions' Wonder Woman game reportedly still in a rough state after 3 years of development. Quote, this game's troubled. I mean, I don't want to compare it to Grand Theft Auto, but, Grand Theft Auto 6 has been in production for a decade? Longer? Sorry to pop the mic there. Despite being in a super professional setup I got here today, as you can see, my crappy messed up office wall that I'm still working on behind me it's been patched up and unpainted for years at this point. We're moving slowly but surely. Anyway, despite being in development for roughly 3 years, Monolith Productions' upcoming Wonder Woman solo title is reportedly still in a very troubled place. Word of the Themyscirian princess's troubled leap to the digital world was initially revealed to the public courtesy of Kinda Funny CEO Greg Miller during a Summer Game Fest 2024 predictions livestream hosted on June 3rd. And they have, if you go to the Bounding into Comics article, I just gave you the title. You can search for it, boundingintocomics.com. They got a timestamp there. It's like 40 minutes, 46 seconds where they talk about it. But asked by co-host Blessing Adeo, Adei, if he had any thoughts as to, quote, what the next game coming from WB was, Miller speculated that while he did not, quote, have an answer for that off the top of my head, end quote, he did predict that, quote, you're more likely to see a squad and the Justice League reveal than you are a Wonder Woman reveal, end quote. Met with the further observation from Adei, whatever, that in light of WB's apparent lack of a show-stopping reveal at this year's SGF, he thought, quote, it's a good time to re-show Wonder Woman, show something, show signs of life. Miller then declared, quote, you want the exclusive, end quote. Yeah. So, he also said, let's see. The CEO explained, quote, in the past year, because I'll leave it ambiguous, I have talked to an insider who was like, this game's troubled, end quote. Quote, that's it. That's all I can say. So I don't hold out hope that it's in a place to show you something. And I think it could come out. And what does troubled actually mean? Like, oh man, people are falling through level 4 or some crap like that. But I think it's not where they want it to be, and it's not ready for prime time, end quote. Also under development by the aforementioned Middle-earth Shadows of duology studio Monolith Productions, Wonder Woman received absolutely zero updates since a 30-second teaser trailer revealed its existence in December 2021. That sucks. There was also something about Hogwarts Legacy in here I wanted to take a look at. They would be, let's see, ideological leanings of its lead writer, Tanya DePass. Let's see. Oh, yeah. However, while fans may be excited at the prospect of an actual quality video game outing starring the amazing Amazon, they would do best to temper those expectations given the ideological leanings of its lead writer, Tanya DePass. Not only is DePass the director and founder of I Need Diverse Games, a Chicago-based nonprofit described by a local news outlet, the Chicago Tribune, as being, quote, dedicated to helping underrepresented people gain visibility and access in the video game industry. Barf. But she was also a vocal supporter of the attempted boycott against Hogwarts Legacy declaring in 2022 that they refused to give the game any amount of attention to her belief that source material creator J.K. Rowling was, quote, trying to wipe out trans folks and abusing their platform to do so, end quote. This woman sucks. Hogwarts Legacy is great, by the way. I actually got my... Let's see. Let me look at the camera again. Got my Switch right here. I haven't messed with it in a while. I packed it, took it to Can's ass with me on vacation. Didn't turn it on once. Then again, I didn't turn my computer on either. It's kind of nice being unplugged. But yeah, right there. I don't know. It won't focus. But Hogwarts Legacy. Don't know why it's not focusing on that. That cartridge has been in my game for a while. It's the only thing I've been playing whenever I turn it on. I might actually play later. Either way. Yeah, I just saw something about, let's see, here we go. That Park Place. After senior writer attempted to boycott Hogwarts Legacy, her Wonder Woman game is reportedly troubled and studio could be shut down. I didn't hear the shutdown part in that last article, but Monolith Productions' Wonder Woman game is reportedly in development trouble in the wake of the game's senior writer attempting to boycott Hogwarts Legacy and trying to get a GOG employee fired. Okay. Let's delve a little deeper into that here. Telling about what the game is. Where it will be released, so to speak. Okay, she said in 2023, she announced she'd be working on the game. She posted on X that enough vague booking. I've accepted a position at Monolith Positions as a senior writer on Wonder Woman games starting next month. Cool, dude. Talks about her boycotting. She said, here's exactly what she said on Twitter. She said, nah, I'm not giving that game any of my time, and it's not merely a controversy. It's supporting someone trying to wipe out trans folks and abusing their platform to do so. She's got a pride flag in her title. Cross swords. Okay. Cross swords and a pride flag in her name on Twitter. So, or X. Cool, dude. In 2018, to pass also attempted to fire a GOG employee, claiming the employee engaged in transphobic behavior. DePass posted on X, whoever has the keys to GOG's social media channels needs to be bounced. That's twice they've been transphobic. Once with a crappy meme and now co-opting a hashtag for trans rights to sell video or to sell games. FFS. Okay, so they hopped on a hashtag trend and that's transphobic now. Further, let's see. She told the Chicago Tribune, quote, I've been gaming for a long time. I am tired of not seeing myself in this media. What, gays? What? Games are old enough to where we should be beyond the same scruffy white dude as the protagonist or tired racial stereotypes or tropes. What games are you playing, man? There's Samus from Metroid. There's Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. Various games you can play as female characters in like Sonic and Mario games. Star Fox. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit right now. I haven't been gaming in so long. There's a ton of Tomb Raider games out there, though. If you don't like Tomb Raider, I don't know, like, what do you want? Like, isn't there an assassin? I know the new Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to have a female, like, you can be the man or the woman. I was pretty sure there was another one. You play as a man or a woman. Yeah, I don't know, man. You can be a woman in Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, how about that? Oh, can't talk about that. Sorry. All right. Last story. Talk about a game. This is another one I know nothing about, but I saw some stuff on it. Figured we'd talk about it, get some opinions, and we'll wrap this one up for the day. Going again, bounding into comics and that Park Place. Bounding into comics first. BioWare and Electronic Arts revealed disastrous first look at Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Official upload of debut teaser currently at 192,000 dislikes and counting. That was today, so I'm sure it's still that way. In a move so characteristic of the embattled video game studio that it almost feels like a parody, after years of fan anticipation and promises of development progress, BioWare chose to reveal Dragon Age: The Veilguard to the world with perhaps one of the most off-key video game trailers, perhaps of all time. All right. Wow, they have a redhead in there. A ginger lady. They actually put one in their game. How about that? Media loves removing gingers. Anyway, released to the public on June 9th as part of the 2024 Summer Game Fest Xbox Showcase, the first trailer for the formerly titled Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Well, let's just say it echoes the worst elements of the 2016 S Squad film. Really? In what way? I need to read more. Expecting a glimpse of something that looked at least remotely like a deep character-driven RPG with intricate dialogue options, players were instead met with a montage of the game's roster of quick-quipping heroes. Oh, okay. I get it now. Each introduced with a stylized in-your-face title card revealing both their name and their general job title as played over a minor key cover of the late David Bowie's 1977 single Heroes. Cool. These, why do they always do that with these trailers? It's so worn out. It's like people mock it and they still do the meme. Whatever. These personality shots then ultimately culminated in a brief cinematic wherein the aforementioned heroes, Harding the scout, Nev the detective, Emmerich the necromancer, Tosh the dragon hunter, Davrin the warden, Valeria the veil jumper, and Lucanus the mage killer can be seen fighting back to back and showcasing their own individual abilities against an encroaching horde of dark spawn. To the surprise of anyone with even the slightest marketing sense, rather than excite players for the next Dragon Age entry, the trailer was so bizarrely slapped together that most walked away believing that BioWare and Electronic Arts had ultimately turned the game into yet another multiplayer hero shooter. I mean, maybe. So much so, in fact, that as of this article's writing, the official Dragon Age YouTube channel's upload of the Veilguard teaser presently sits at 35,000 likes and 192,000 dislikes, as revealed courtesy of Return YouTube Dislike extension on Mozilla Firefox. I like how they had to point that out, that like they're using that plugin. Cool. Unsurprisingly, the other major uploads of the trailer aren't faring any better than their official counterpart. Wow. I mean, what they described doesn't sound like garbage, but I guess if you're expecting one thing and get the other, and I've never played a Dragon Age game, so this seems like it would be right up my alley. Like, I really need to upgrade systems. I need to get Baldur's Gate 3. I need to get... people are kind of trashing on it, but I think it looks good. And it's set in the medieval times. The new Final Fantasy 16. Those look right up my alley, man. I would get into it. I also need to get this winter from my 9 to 5. I usually get a lot of Amazon gift cards in the fall. So I'm probably going to get me Elden Ring. I've been looking forward to playing Elden Ring for years. It looks great. So got to get into it. Quickly from that Park Place. New Dragon Age The Veilguard characters rejected by players. Quote, they've been modern audienced. Okay. Let's get into some of this. BioWare released a brief character talking about the trailer. On X, the official Dragon Age account posted, quote, we're finally ready to reveal our most compelling companions yet in Dragon Age. Meet the Veilguard, end quote. Okay. On YouTube, the long-form trailer reveals the characters beginning with a female dwarf named Harding. It reminds me of the Witcher Blood Origin. Had a lesbian female dwarf in that one. And yeah. Next, it reveals what appears to be a disabled black woman as a mage named Nev. Third is a male named Lucanus, who is described as a mage killer. How do you have a mage and a mage killer? Like, do you need both on one team? I mean, I guess you can have both, but, you know, either way. The fourth companion is a character named Bellar, who is described as a veil jumper. Another she, gotta have more female representation in there, appears to be an Asian woman. The fourth character is an elderly white man named Emmerich, who is a necromancer. The fifth is a black male warden named Davrin. The sixth appears to be a gender-confused Canary, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, named Tosh. She's a dragon hunter. Talks about how it got ratioed. Numerous users in the content. Here's the sweet stuff here. Numerous users in the comments roasted the game. The top comment reads, "You either die as Dragon Age or live long enough to see yourself become Fortnite." Another question, is this what Duncan died for? I don't get that one because, again, I didn't play the games. One user wrote, quote, this game is going to sell a lot of copies of Dragon Age Origins. Another question, I've waited 10 years for a cartoon. I shaved my ham wallet for this. Anyway. Still another question, how did we go from dark fantasy to Saturday morning cartoons? One user posted, the real reason why YouTube removed dislikes. That is true, by the way. It's not to help the little creators. It's to help the big, giant studios that everybody's trashing on because they release crap. Another compared the game to the financial disaster of the S Squad and the Justice League. They called it S Veilguard and the Dragon Age. One predicted that EA will be shutting down BioWare following the release of the game. Quote, EA closing BioWare in 3, 2, 1. Another noted, oh yes, Baldur's Gate 3 looks more like Dragon Age than Dragon Age itself. And it goes on and on and on. Endy Mion, who has a blue check mark on Twitter. I might be mispronouncing that wrong with Endy Mion. I don't know. He said, none of your characters look very interesting. They all look like they've been modern audienced. F me, BioWare. And then YouTuber. Yeah, okay, he's a YouTuber. And another YouTuber, Minimal Effort Gaming, wrote, LMAO, y'all Kathleen Kennedy'd the S out of this. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. So, fun stuff, man. But let me know down in the comments. Do you give a crap about this? Does anybody give a crap about it? Are you going to buy this? Anything we talked about today, I want to hear your opinions on it, really. So we talked about Alyssa Mercanti. I would call her something else, but, I'm trying to censor myself, be a good little boy. We talked about her calling out YouTubers or just her critics in general, the haters, bro, and how she wants to fight them. So stupid. And then a couple of female YouTubers actually hit her up on it and said, yeah, let's do it. Let's fight. Bring it on. All right, sorry, everything just disappeared for like a hot second. We also talked about the addition of Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Disney World and new merchandise and food to go along with it. It looks pretty cool. I would suggest going to that park place and looking up the article just to at least see the pictures and judge for yourself. Something I didn't hate on today. We talked about the Acolyte being a garbage heap, Lucasfilm as a whole being a garbage heap, Star Wars being dead, and how even though Leslie Headland already destroyed the Acolyte, so let's further crap on the corpse of Star Wars by having her do a Knights of the Old Republic film. That's what she wants to do next. Hail to the nah. We talked about the boys being woke, and like I pointed out, it's always been kind of woke. So if you're just now figuring it out, you're either really slow or you've never really been watching. There's the the Baldwin, the frickin' Baldwin reality show, Alec Baldwin and cultural appropriating Hillary Baldwin getting a show on TLC because they're freaks. Mike Flanagan, awesome director, taking over, see if he can breathe more life into the Exorcist franchise. All new film, not connected to Believer in any way, shape, or form. New stuff. So we talked about somebody who's apparently seen a screening of the Crow reboot coming out in August, saying, or somebody who actually worked on it and then didn't work on it anymore. They saw a screen. I will say this. After the trailer, I'm like kind of on the guy's side, and maybe it's what do they call it? Something bias. But it's confirmation bias. That's it. It's like confirmation bias, but I will say apparently he worked on it. They kept rewriting, and now he's not on it anymore. He doesn't have a credit on it anymore. And it's been in production hell for a decade. So maybe he just has an axe to grind and he was going to hate it no matter what. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. But then again, it could be garbage and it doesn't look good. And we also talked about, speaking of production hell, nothing has come out about the Wonder Woman game since they brought it up at the end of 2021. Just nothing. No footage, no pictures, no updates, nada. And the woman writing for the game is a big feminist with a gay flag in her name on X, and boycotted Hogwarts Legacy because J.K. Rowling made her tum-tum hurt with naughty words about trans people. And we wrapped it all up with some talk about the new Dragon Age, the Veilguard video game that apparently nobody likes. I never played it, but people who have played it said it looks like garbage, and they're not going to buy it. So, either way, there you go. That's what we got. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I thank you for tuning in for this stream. I'm going to try to make them shorter. If I go live again, I probably will. I've got it all set up now. It's easier to just hop right on. I don't have to set crap up anymore. I'm going to try to make them shorter in the future. I just compiled a bunch of stuff and then started ranting. I'm going to try to curb it in the future. So sorry, my cats just freaked the hell out. I got to go check on them. On that note, we'll wrap up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go check out my other content. Thank you all for being here today. I really do appreciate it. And we will see you all on the flip side.